Right now, you think this is just another travel video. I thought the same thing too, until I saw what was waiting ahead. An island so clear, so untouched, it didn't feel like India anymore. It felt like something out of a dream. The engine was loud and the sea was flat, and within minutes of leaving the jetty, Port Blair disappeared behind us completely. What replaced it was something I was not prepared for. The route to Jolly Boy runs through the Mahatma Gandhi Marine National Park, a protected zone covering over 280 square kilometers of island and open sea. And as the boat moved deeper into it, the world changed. On both sides of the water, forested islands appeared, dense, dark green, completely uninhabited. No buildings, no boats anchored nearby, just tree lines that dropped straight into the sea. The kind of green that makes you wonder how long it has been there and whether anything human has ever touched it. So here's something really interesting. Before you even reach Jolly Boy, these glass bottom boats are actually carried along with the main ferry, all the way from Vandoor. And once you arrive, you just step into them, and suddenly the ocean opens up right beneath your feet. Most people who visit Andaman do not come here. They stay in the resort pools. They do the organized glass bottom boat ride and tick the box. They do not take the early boat to Vandoor. They do not spend 45 minutes watching protected islands pass by on both sides. They do not walk into the forest interior alone. And they do not float above 50-year-old coral in water this clear. That is their loss. And it is a real loss. This island closes for 6 months every year so the ecosystem can recover. The no plastic rule is enforced from the moment you board the boat. The number of daily visitors is capped. Every restriction exists because someone understood that if you do not protect something this fragile, aggressively and consistently, it disappears. These are protected islands. You cannot land on most of them. You can only pass by and watch. And the watching is enough. At one point, I counted 5 islands visible at the same time, each one a different shape, each one completely covered in forest, sitting in water that shifted between turquoise and deep green depending on the depth. Nobody on the boat was talking much. The engine noise was the only sound, and everyone was looking outward. The coral bleaching events that have hit reefs across Southeast Asia over the last decade have touched even these waters. What survived here survived because of protection. And it is rare enough now that you feel it when you are in it. That 45-minute crossing is not a transfer. It is the beginning of the experience. By the time Jolly Boy appeared on the horizon, small, low, dark green against the bright water, something had already shifted inside. And then it revealed itself, like something out of a dream. Water so insanely clear, it felt like the island was floating in the sky. Colors so unreal, my eyes couldn't keep up. In that moment, I wasn't just seeing paradise, I was standing inside it. I stepped off the boat and immediately understood why this island is different. Jolly Boy sits within one of the most diverse coral ecosystems in India. Montipora grew across the flatter reef sections, thin, plate-like layers spreading horizontally, overlapping each other in a kind of soft architecture. And between all of this, soft corals, moving in the current in ways that hard coral cannot, swaying slightly, their color ranging from deep purple to pale orange. The park supports over 270 species of fish in these waters. That number is not abstract when you're watching it. Every few seconds, something new crosses your field of vision. Parrotfish moving through in pairs, surgeonfish working the reef edge, something bright yellow I spent 2 minutes trying to identify. Over 50 species of coral have been recorded in this marine park. 50. That number did not mean anything to me until I put my face below the surface and started counting what I could see from a single position. The first thing I noticed was Acropora, staghorn coral, the branching kind that grows in formations that look like antlers frozen mid-movement. The branches come in pale blue, cream, and a kind of dusty brown that somehow does not look dead. It just looks ancient. These formations can grow for decades. What I was hovering above had been building itself long before I knew this island existed. Next to it, Porites, the massive boulder corals. These are the heavy, rounded formations that sit on the reef floor like boulders someone dropped from above. They are slower growing than staghorn. Some of the larger ones can be hundreds of years old. They develop visible ridges and valleys across their surface that give them a brain-like texture. Looking at one up close, it stops feeling like coral and starts feeling like geology. I've seen beaches before, but this was different. The kind of place where your mind just slows down on its own. No effort, no noise, just you, the sound of the waves, and a strange kind of peace you didn't even know you needed. I followed a narrow trail into the interior, and within about 3 minutes, the beach was gone. The only sounds were birds, and not occasional birds, constant, layered, overlapping calls I could not identify. Andaman wood pigeons, sea eagles somewhere overhead, movement in the undergrowth that I did not investigate too closely. The forest floor was soft, undisturbed, the kind of ground that has had decades of fallen leaves. I moved slowly because moving fast felt wrong, like it would break something. I stayed in there for a long time. No signal, no photographs for the first 10 minutes. Is a dense tropical forest that covers nearly 70% of the land area. Thick canopied, with trees that grow close and tall and block out direct sunlight almost completely. Just the forest doing what a protected forest does when it has been left alone long enough to become entirely itself. Right here, you are looking at the Terminalia billata tree. It's one of the native coastal trees you'll find in the Andaman Islands. Strong enough to survive salt, wind, and harsh sun. Yet it stands so calm and beautiful, almost like a reminder that real strength doesn't need to show off. Look closely at its roots. They don't just go down, they spread wide and hold everything together. These roots are built to grip loose coastal sand, protecting the tree from strong winds and erosion. It's not just surviving here, it's anchoring itself to the island, like nature's way of saying strength begins from what you don't see. It does not look like a beach destination. It looks like somewhere that does not particularly want you there. Then I came back to the water, and that is where this island shows you what it is actually protecting. Water this clear doesn't feel real, like I've stepped into another world. And for a moment, everything just slows down. I casually told my wife, I wish I could build a home here someday. Didn't think much of it, just a passing thought. But when I came back, after walking the island, she had built a tiny home in the sand, just for me. And somehow, that simple moment felt more perfect than any real house ever could. This is the final episode of Andaman Untold. 6 places, and more questions than I arrived with, which, if you ask me, is the only honest definition of a trip worth taking. If you have been watching this series from the beginning, thank you. Not in the automatic way, in the way that means I made something I was proud of and you stayed to watch it, and that matters. The forested islands on the return looked the same as the morning, dark, untouched, completely indifferent to whether I remembered them or not. Not every journey is meant to be understood. Some are meant to be felt.